How's it going, everybody? So, I kind of wanted to take some time to share my testimony tonight about my experience in the sex industry and my trafficking attempt. I was speaking with a lady who was looking for somebody to be on a podcast to share their experiences with trafficking. So, I pursued that, and we were supposed to have a discussion Monday night and do it Tuesday morning. And she hasn't got back to me. So I thought I would take the time to kind of just do it tonight by myself. And I thought, maybe I could help somebody else. Maybe somebody could get something out of this. Um, Let me start off by saying I do not advise a career in sex work whatsoever. Um, it's one of the worst decisions I ever made the way it turned out. If I could have never went down that route and got my life together a little sooner, I would have done that. Excuse me. So I began my sex career in 2012. I was coming off the heels of a very lengthy stint of shoplifting. See, my first job when I was 17, it was at a Taco Bell. And it didn't go so well. So I kind of thought, well, it's working, things not working out. And I just kind of gave up on that first job. So, I needed to get money in my pocket to fuel my drug addiction and keep cigarettes. And so I decided to start shoplifting. And I would go all over my state and steal video games from Walmarts and Targets. And I ended up on their most wanted list. They would follow me from store to store and stop me. Got arrested numerous times for it. And it just got too hot. I couldn't do it anymore. So after taking a little break from that, I started thinking, well, how can I make money? What could I do to make some money? I'm not the type of guy that, would do anything to hurt anybody. I wouldn't do a break-in or anything like that. Wasn't about to rob anybody. So I just brainstormed a little bit. And I came up with the idea, well, maybe I could just start having sex for money. And so I placed the ad on Craigslist. And I think it was that very night I ended up with my first client. He pulled up in my driveway. So that went all right. I said, well, that's one down. Let me see where I can go from here. And I started advertising daily. I met a bunch of people, so many people. And I really enjoyed meeting people. Like, I didn't so much enjoy the sex, but I really did enjoy meeting people, just talking to them. It was really cool. And I met a lot of great people. I met some people that saved my life. I met some people that still got my back to this day. Professors, pastors, businessmen. Really all kinds of people. So I really enjoyed that, all the different people that I got to meet. Well, fast forward to 2017, and I contacted a masseuse that I found on Craigslist. I was lonely. I was looking to date, and I thought, we could make a good team. We could work together. We could make money together, and there would be nothing to hide. See, as a sex worker, I couldn't date with the clean conscience. Would that just wouldn't be right. So, I thought we'd be the perfect match. So I went out to meet her, and on our first encounter, she seemed really nice. Um, just had some good conversation. We ate a pizza together. Um, but while this was going on, while we were socializing and eating pizza and stuff, men were coming in, and they would kind of glance through the door and look at me and her and leave. I didn't really know why they were brought over there. Um, so I ended up going back home. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I went out to visit her a second time. I'll be right back. I need to get my Gatorade. So I went out to visit her the second time, and she's just a very different person from the first time that I was over there. She was meaner. She was rushing me to get over there. She wanted me to move in with her so we could live off peanut butter sandwiches. uh, I had a home, so I wasn't too keen on that. Um, Started talking more and more, and it took me a while to realize it, but she's trying really hard to manipulate me, build trust with me. Um, the first thing that happened, she had like this bag of lingerie, and she said, "I bought it for you." And I thought about it for a minute. And I was like, "Well, you bought it to wear for me, or you bought it for me?" I didn't ask her really. But I just sat there listening to her dribble. Um, so just playing this song. It's a pop song. You may be familiar with it. It was called "Work Bitch." I believe that's the name of the song, but the song's like "Work Bitch, Work Bitch, Work Bitch," and she tried to convince me to clean her bathroom. I wasn't going for it. Um, she told me, said, "I'm your mother. I'm your sister." It's really disgusting. She's not my family. Um, she she fancied herself as a witch. I didn't really know this at the time. She told me she had a Kabbalah, and she took a cigarette and she was moving it all over my body. And after all this happened, I Googled that. And apparently, moving a cigarette over somebody's body is a way of casting some sort of love spell. Um, so I got more red flags when she said that somebody was coming over the next day. I barely knew her. I definitely didn't want to meet any of her friends. So I kind of started to get scared. Um, and she threatened to shoot me with a shotgun. And I was trying to call my friend to pick me up because he dropped me off. And I had to call him like a million times. It was very late at night. And finally, he ended up picking up the phone, and I said, "Man, I'm in danger. You need to come and get me. She's damn crazy. I need to get out of here." She lived in the middle of the hood, so I didn't want to just run out the door with no way home. So after I hung up the phone, she's threatening to shoot me while I was on the phone with my friend. She was yelling over me, trying to say, "Don't pick him up. Don't pick him up. He's crazy. He's fine." Yeah, right. Um, so I got off the phone. My friend agreed to pick me up, and she said, "Oh, I'm in love with you. I'm in love with you. Don't leave. Don't leave." Um, and she performed fellatio on me. And afterwards, I felt like I'd been raped because I was scared. I mean, I didn't want to get shot. And she's a very big woman, about 6'3". Um, so it was pretty scary. It was very scary. Um, Traumatized me, honestly. So I went back home. When my friend showed up, I just ran out the door and got in the car. I was hysterical. Um, I got back home. About 3 weeks later, I received an anonymous. No, I'm fast forwarding. Um, a couple weeks later, I was in my room with a client. Now, I had a friend who would stay in my back room with a baseball bat just in case anything went wrong. So I'm in the room with the client, and I thought I heard a knock at the door. So after the client left, I asked my friend, I said, "Did you hear a knock?" And told me, "No, I didn't hear a knock, but I did hear a walkie-talkie." And I received an anonymous text message. It was from a text now number, and it said, "Got all your dirty pictures and messages, uploading them all to the web. Watch out for the walkie-talkies. They'll be outside your house." Now, this was the very day that my friend who was staying in the back room with the bat took off. So there I am. I'm alone. I'm being threatened in my own home. And I just went through this with her, and I was just hyper vigilant. I was a mess. I couldn't sleep at night. I didn't know what was going on. I was really scared. Um, I never found out who sent the text message. I believe that it may have had something to do with my uncle because he's never liked me. I don't know why he would threaten me like that and try to slut shame me like that. But that's my gut feeling. I believe it was him because he was like kind of the caretaker of the apartments, and I think, well, who could get away with just being outside of the apartments with walkie-talkies? It don't make sense. If it was the police, why would they threaten me? So it scared the shit out of me, and it gave me PTSD. Um, so between that and what happened with the masseuse, especially what happened with the masseuse, it gave me a genuine empathy for people who are trafficked. I consider myself lucky. Um, so that experience really stirred inside me a desire to do something about human trafficking. So there's a thing in my state called Project No Rest. You may have seen some of their ads during the 2016 election. That's how I found out about them. And they advertise missing children and those at risk of being trafficked. I believe in the past they used to advertise missing adults as well. I believe now it's geared towards children. But I just went out in the streets in Morganton on Highway 70 and I held a sign promoting Project No Rest. And that was like one of the best days of my life. I got so many comments from passersby and stuff. This old man drove by. He said, "Well, the human trafficking is going to end when Trump gets the wall built." And I'm like, "Well, sorry, it won't, but it might help a little bit." It was a great day. So after that, I won a contest through an organization, Vigilante Truth. Shortly before that, I did a flyer campaign, raising awareness against human trafficking. Went through multiple towns and cities in my state and hung up flyers at gas stations and other different places. And I won the contest through Vigilante Truth, and they highlighted my flyer campaign. So that happened, and then I had to take a break for a year due to some personal issues going on. I ended up coming into an inheritance. And with that inheritance, I was able to donate to some nonprofits that I care about. And I was also able to finance and take out advertisements for the birth of my Facebook page, Trafficking Insights. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. It's my pride and joy and my little baby. I conduct seminars. I share information about trafficking related events and other stuff that's going on in my state and also all across the country and the world. Just try to keep everybody updated on what's going on and share information. I've created some merchandise as well. If you'd like to purchase any, I've got snapbacks, a few different things. Mostly what I got is snapbacks because I got a bunch of those. And now, after 4 years of trying to get my foot in the door, I'm volunteering as an outreach director for an organization out of DC called Shannon Speaks. And I'm assisting Shield NC with doing research on how landlords can combat human trafficking. So I'm really proud of myself. I'm glad that I'm able to use my pain and my past experiences to make a better life, set a good example for other people. Because there is a way out. A lot of people get trapped in the sex industry either because they don't have job skills or they're on drugs. And there's so much more you can do with your life besides having sex for money. So I just wanted to share that with everybody tonight. Kind of share my testimony. So yeah, I hope some people got something out of that. It feels good to kind of tell my story a little bit, and I really hope that I can continue to make strides in the movement to end human trafficking and end up helping a lot of people and really making a dent in the epidemic. So God bless everybody that watched this. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it.